So welcome back guys. In this class we'll discuss about stator interturn fault protection of alternator. Until now we have discussed about a differential alternator and we have discussed differential alternator, simplified and modified alternators, and we have seen merge price protection. Okay, now we'll look up the now stator interturn fault. What is the stator interturn fault? Until now, for example, this is the stator winding. We already know star connected stator winding. So we have discussed up to now the fault which is taking place due to phase to ground, phase to earth, phase to phase. Okay, whether external means this is a protection zone, this our relay coil will not operate it, but it in the protection zone will with the usage of circulating currents only the differential protection is acting. Okay, now we'll discuss about stator interturn. So each winding has individual interturns, right? But we are not concentrating on if the fault occurred between the interturns. What happens means if the fault occur here, there will be a shortage here. If there is a shortage means the voltage produced by this each individual, if there is a short occur in R, Y, B phases, if this is fault occur in here, what is the voltage produced by this R phase will be reduced. Okay, in case it is sustained for a small interval of time, it is no problem. If it is sustained for more than, there is a drop in voltage. If there is a drop in voltage means across this section that other windings will get damaged or will get extra burden. So this is not favorable for us. Now for this condition we used to use find the where is the phase change. So if there is a change in the voltage drop, we have to find that. Okay, so to understand simply, so let us take two parallel elements. Okay, so this is the current need to produce, this is the voltage, this is the total current need to produce. Okay, so if there is small fault occur here, what happen here? That means the impedance is reduced. If the impedance is reduced means whatever the current is need to produce, it will go through, total current will be, high current will flow through this fault section because the impedance is reduced, but remaining current will flow to this section. This is not favorable condition for us. So you need to protect this. So what happens here is, for protection of this type of course, we'll go to the grouping thing. Okay, so what is this grouping? Circuits grouping. So we'll take these individual phases into a grouping, like for our group we'll divide this winding like this. Okay, and for the B also we'll divide. That means if two impedances, for example, so say let us take resistance for a consideration. If these two resistance are in parallel, say if this is the R value, we have to represent the equivalent of this terminal R resistance in parallel means what we will do, we'll make 2R into 2R. Okay, when two elements are connected in parallel, when the resultant will be by 2, so we will get R value. Therefore the impedances which we need to produce across this terminal is this, let us say Z, when we'll turn the winding into Z by 2Z and 2Z. Okay, so to protect the winding from interturn, we divide this each section. Okay, in this format in the alternator. Okay, and then this is fed to bus bars and all. To explain that, I'll take only one section. Okay, the fault may occur in this condition, at this fault, at this time, wherever the fault occur. To explanation purpose, I'll take one section and we'll keep circuit CTs with supporting of relay coil. I'll explain. Okay, let us take, this is R section and this is the RY and this is B section. I am considering the B section with two coils. Okay, so this in turn connected to a circuit breaker to a CTs, the configuration of this phase is fed with the secondary of CT like this, and this is connected in zigzag manner. Say this is bridge manner, okay, for circulating current, and we'll keep a relay here, relay coil or relay here, okay. So this is a normal pattern we are seeing. For this is also the same two winding also in there in this box. The same two winding will be in their box, and these are fed to CTs, okay, circuit breakers, okay. Now what happen is, when the no fault occur, say for example this phase produce 8000 amps for example, and this is also produce 8000 amps. Under normal condition, this will take, the current division is taking at 4000 amps, and this is also taking 4000 amps. So what are the current is with the secondary holding, secondary, the proportion of the value will come across the CTs. If there is a proportion of value come at the CTs, this current will flow in this way, and this current will flow in this way. So each opposite current will flow. Therefore, the flow of current in this coil is 0. That is, let us say this is I1 and this is I2. So I1 minus I2 equal to 0. So when this current is 0, the circuit will not, the relay coil will not operate. Okay. Now, where fault occur like this at this junction, what happens here? If the fault occur at this junction means there will be reduce in the voltage. If there is a reduce in voltage means the current will flow, high current, that is up to, let us say 5000 amps will flow, and this 3000 amps will flow. And secondary of things means we'll have current I1 higher than I2. Okay. If the higher is than I2, then it will not equal to 0. If there is no, the current takes in the coil, that is I1 minus I2, there is a possibility of flow of current in the coil. If there is a possibility of flow in the current in the coil means the relay will operate. So this is the thing. So we need to understand in which circuit the current will flow higher. For example, to understand this, we have the current division rule, right? So this total current I will produce, I1 will take, I2 and take, okay? So the normal condition, this I1 I2 is equal, that is I1 and I2 equal. So when the fault occur means there is a drop in the impedance. So the drop in the impedance means high current will flow. So the resistance is less. But in this, the resistance is more than compared to with this. Therefore, I2 current will be greater than I2. So I1 will be greater than I2. Okay. There is a circulating current taking place in this point. The relay coil will operate. Okay. Until that, it is fine. So the main problem of using this configuration is not all generators will possibility have that much costing. If you induce this, the cost of the generator will increase. Okay. So we are intended to do things in a economical way. So for all generators, this is not possible. For large generators only, it is possible. For the many cases, we use turbo generators. So where there is no possibility of this grouping, we'll go to another thing. We'll go up to same coil, same single phase only. Okay. That's also increase the costing. But to understand purpose, I'm saying that we'll go to that purpose. And one more thing is here, the grouping. So in this we have even grouping. Okay. Even grouping means this one coil is fed to 2 forms. Okay. Now if it is fed to 3 forms, so there is a if there is 2 forms is not feasible there. If we are undergoing to 3 forms, that is uneven form, that is odd thing, the CTs will be say, so this is one alternator, this is one phase, and this is a phase of a combination of another thing. Say for example, you want to draw this equivalent of this. Let us say this is Z and this is Z1 and Z2. Okay. So Z1 will be equal to Z2. Okay. Now you want to replace Z2 with 2 sections. So resultant of this is Z2 only. Now the CTs of these each individual phases will be in such a way that which is equivalent to this phase. Okay. So that's the CT configuration will be changed there. So that is the one point. So even grouping means we'll have a same configuration of CTs, but odd grouping means depending upon the purpose we'll change the CT's ratings. So that is the one point I need to say. And one thing, and so all generators will not have the possibility of grouping. So there is one possibility. If there is no possibility of grouping, we'll go to other section. That is, we'll go to 5-limbed 3-phase winding protection thing. 3-phase winding transformer will keep for protection. So why this transformer is utilized here? So what is the reason of using 5-limbed 3-phase winding transformer? Where there is no possibility of grouping, we'll go to only one phase. For that phase, how we will connect the relay section, I'll explain now. Okay. So this is our phase coil. This is also our phase coil. This is RYB I'm taking. This is RYB I'm taking. Okay. So these are the phases it will go. This is the phases of stator. You need to remember that. Okay. So for 3-phase, 5-limbed 3-phase means, that means for this we'll have 3 sections. That is primary section, we'll call secondary section, and tertiary. You already know that. Okay, while discussing about the 3-phase transformers, you'll have different connections. For the primary will be, for the transformer primary, so let us say this is a transformer. This transformer primary is fed to stator winding. Okay, stator winding. So you need to remember this. Stator winding is fed. Okay, and the secondary of the transformer, it is connected to potential coil. Okay, potential coil of wattmeter relay. And the tertiary thing is fed to current coil of wattmeter. So I'll explain how the connection will be there for you. Current coil of wattmeter relay. So I'm explaining why we are going to 5-limbed 3-phase winding transformer is, so in the many generators the grouping is not possible. So where is the only possibility of one section, we'll go to the 5-limbed 3-phase winding transformer. In this 3-phase winding transformer, we use relay, that is wattmeter relay. So how this wattmeter relay, you know, by using of residual voltage, that is V residual. So we need to get V residual voltage to operate that wattmeter. So we'll do how this wattmeter V residual is produced now. Okay. So listen carefully, guys. This is, let us say, this is the primary of the, this is the primary section of the winding of the transformer. So here is this is R phase, Y phase, B phase. These are fed to each individual phases. Okay. And then it is star connected, which is connected to grounding. And now, this is, I am taking, this is tertiary. Second section is tertiary. This is primary of the transformer. Okay. And let us take, this is secondary. This is secondary of the transformer. Okay. Now, as I said, the primary is fed to the stator winding, as already did, and now the secondary is fed to potential coil of the so this is the potential coil, let us say, with each individual so we'll place the potential coils like this. The tertiary output will get potential coil like this, and then tertiary is connected in a delta form. Okay, so this is the dot connection, and this is dot connection, and this is dot connection, and it is fed to, the delta form means the closed loop should be there, and this is fed to current coils. Okay, current coil of the wattmeter. This is the overall configuration. So what is the wattmeter here? We are connecting, this is the wattmeter section. This is the wattmeter section. Okay, this is the current coils of the wattmeter for 3 phases, and this is the potential coils. This is the potential coil, and this is the potential coil. We need to develop V residual, that is V residual, to operate this wattmeter relay. If the wattmeter relay is operated, then this is protected from interturn fault. Okay. So for explaining this, we need to know the phasor thing. So from here, the phasor concepts you need to understand carefully. So if you are very much knowing about the phasor thing, which you already dealt in earlier semesters of 3-phase winding of transformers and 3-phase winding of 3-phase supply things and all, you will understand this carefully. So you need to refresh that all things now. So actually, in general, the stator winding voltage will be star. Okay, that means let us say VR and V by this is VB. Okay, and now the tertiary output which you are getting, this is the tertiary output. The tertiary output will be in the form of VR in the delta form, Vy, and this is Vz. Okay, VB. So whatever the voltage produced under normal condition is equal. That means there is no fault occurred. If there is a fault occur means there is a voltage drop at each individual phase. There is no fault occur means there is no voltage drop. If there is no voltage drop, all phases, which is, this is the primary section voltage, primary voltage, this is the tertiary voltages. So here there is no possibility of residual voltage. So residual voltage V residual equal to 0. When this V residual voltage is 0, that means this wattmeter will not operate. If this wattmeter is not operated means this is under normal condition. But in abnormal condition, where our main thing is this, there is a fault occur in any of this stator core. Okay, then what happen? The production of this voltage across each individual voltages will be reduced. Okay, if R considered is at this same fault occur at one phase, that means the voltage will be produced considerably less before. This is the voltage which I am replacing in this length. I am replacing it this at this form VR, but the voltage produced at other sections will be normal, that is Vy and Vb. This is output is taken from the tertiary to the wattmeter. So I am producing this in delta form. That means the delta will be represented like this. Okay. So there is a possibility of V residual which is enough for wattmeter operation. Okay. So the main thing is to analyze or to understand the working of any system. We are depending on these phasors only. By looking at the phasor diagram only, you have to represent that analysis that if the residual voltage is, there is a gap of data, this is the values, right? If there is a gap means the complete delta is not forming there. If there is no complete not forming means there is a production of residual voltage. If there is a production of residual voltage means this wattmeter will get operated. If this wattmeter get operated means we are keeping this zone as the circuit breaker will give the related section, and the entire thing will out of this is the zone. This is the fault section. So the fault section will be separated. So this is the whole concept of understanding with each individual without having the support of grouping. We'll go to, but as you know that this is also cost affecting thing. Okay, so if you're using the stator and using the transformer, this is a cost affecting thing. Okay, this is about 5-limbed stator 3-phase winding transformer. And one more thing I just forgot to explain, that is okay. So if you have any queries about this, you can straight away come To understand this, you need to understand the phasors of a star connection, and after the tertiary output of the delta connection. This is a different transformers you learn to put the 5-limb middle a 3-phase winding and delta connection winding, star to delta, delta to star, star star, Y section, T section. So all the section you need to recollect all these things. But we are hearing only for primary the stator and tertiary is a delta section. Okay, then next class we'll discuss about the negative sequence. Why we'll about the negative sequence protection. So why we'll obtain negative sequence protection means because of unbalanced loading. What is that unbalanced loading? Why will occur the unbalanced loading? If we get unbalanced loading, how we'll protect the alternator with the negative sequence circuits and all? We'll see later. Okay, thank you.